Borough Fall Council meeting for January 15, 2013. Everyone please stand.
Dear Lord, guide and inspire us with the wisdom of those who your daily task of government. Help those sick souls for the benefit of
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Here.
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 Ms. Rafter?
Here.
Mrs. French? Here. Mayor Pratt?
Here.
No one signed in for public participation. We'll move on with the meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for the December 2012 committee, council, and special meeting?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Second. Have a roll call, please.
Mrs. Drowsky?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Kenny? Ms. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. McGuigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mrs. French?
Yes.
Do I have a motion? Motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the bill list that was put in our packets?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
I just have a question on the bills under the library. It seems like the monitor, is that just for the monitoring service itself, or is there a lot more done in the library?
It's the annual service fee.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a one-time fee.
Seems a little high, right?
I thought so, but it's a one-time, we paid it, it's a one-time fee for the year, I believe. Normally, I think it's like $50, $60.
That's what I was thinking when I was reading it. It seems like maybe, so we're paying it, were you paying it for 2012, or is this the pay all 2013?
13.
Has it been paid already?
Yeah, I got that check.
All right. Just
I'll check, I'll get.
before next year, maybe we'll look at something else, because it seems like that's a little bit high. And that's all I have on that.
I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a roll call, please.
Mrs. Drowsky?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Kenny? Ms. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. McGuigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mrs. French?
Yes.
Motion carries. Under Council President report, I'd like, as we discussed last week at our committee meeting, I'd like to instruct the executive director to start soliciting proposals from code enforcement companies, including the one that we are presently with. The current company is contracted through May 22nd. We have until March 22nd if we decide to change code enforcement companies. Do I have a motion to authorize the executive director to solicit proposals from code enforcement companies in the area?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a roll call, please.
Mrs. Drowsky?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Kenny?
Yes.
Ms. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. McGuigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mrs. French?
Yes.
Motion carries. Last year, we made appointments to several commissions and boards, some of which have expired as of December 31st. At this time, I'd like to reappoint the people, since they were only on for 12 months, to reappoint them. The first one is for the Human Relations Commission. I'd like to reappoint Mr. Waters, Nicholas Waters. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
It would be for a 3-year term.
Second.
Can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Drowsky?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Kenny?
Yes.
Ms. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. McGuigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
No.
Mrs. French?
Yes.
On the health board, we have a Gerard Timlin, who is a food service provider. Also has his certificate in food services, but not his state certificate. I think he'd be an asset on the health board. I'd like to reappoint him for a 4-year term. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
roll call, please.
Mrs. Drowsy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Penny?
Yes.
Ms. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. McGuigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mrs. French?
Yes.
Motion carries. On the economic revitalization.
Excuse me, Madam President, glad to interrupt you, but I'd like to make a motion that you read the list in full and we just vote on it. These are all just reappointments.
This is my last one,
Well, there you go. Okay.
with the exception of the Civil Service Commission. The Civil Service Commission, will have a person that will be expired. But I have a motion on for this one.
No, I would.
Okay. Do I have a motion to reappoint Mr. Grossman, who is a businessman in the Borough of Fallcroft, for the Economic Revitalization Commission for 3-year term?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Drowsy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Penny? Ms. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. McGuigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mrs. French?
Yes.
Motion carries. A seat has become vacant on the Civil Service Commission. I would suggest to council that we appoint Anthony Cerroti of School Lane. He is a member of the Laborers Union 332. I'd like everyone to consider appointing him to a 3-year term on the Civil Service Commission. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second that.
Do we have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Drowsy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Penny?
Yes.
Ms. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. McGuigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
No.
Mrs. French?
No.
Motion carries. Last year, we filled vacancies on the library board. One seat had never been filled, so we filled it. This year, 2 seats will expire. They expired as of December 31st. At this time, I would like to appoint Lorna, I can't pronounce her last name, Fife, F-Y-F-F-E, to the position. She has a master's degree in liberal arts. I think she'd be a benefit and some new blood to the library board. The positions that expired were held since 1998 by the same person. I think we need to get new people in there, and I think she would be a great asset to the library board for a 3-year term. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Is a roll call, please?
Mrs. Drowsy?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Penny?
Yes.
Ms. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. McGuigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mrs. French?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Madam President, can I just suggest something? I think that for the Library Commission, we should start appointing to the Library Commission the chair, to the Library Board of Directors. I feel that we should appoint Susan Romsky, because this way it will bridge the gap between the board and council. I move that we appoint Susan Romsky to another.
That's no
No.
problem with that, Christine, it's just doing her new business.
All right.
Is there a vacancy there?
Mhm.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, I didn't know if it was an.
No, it's a clerical job,
Okay.
that's what you do. You made the
Motion?
You made the motion.
Do we have a
Need a
second?
second.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Have a roll call, please?
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Penny?
Yes.
Ms. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. McGuigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mrs. French?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Can I make a suggestion? We appointed all these commissions last year. Do we have an update on what they've done in the past year? If anything? Like anything, like economic revival, like what have they worked on? What, you know, I mean, we have them, everybody's a name only, but what have they done?
Is that everything for the next committee meeting?
Just an update, I mean, we, you know, put them out there, what, you know, are they doing anything?
time, I'd like to propose the, resolution for the CDBG proposal for 2013. The resolution would be 2013-01. Fallcroft Borough Council hereby makes application to the County of Delaware to participate in the funding from the Community Development Block Fund. Whereas this project was discussed at a public meeting held on Tuesday, December 18th at 7 p.m. at the Fallcroft Municipal Building, Elmwood Avenue, Fallcroft, Pennsylvania. A public notice appeared in the Delaware County Daily Times on inviting the public to attend the meeting for their input towards the allocation of these funds. Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
Mrs. Zarowski?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Penny?
Yes.
Ms. Bellamy?
Yes.
Mr. McGuigan?
Yes.
Ms. Rafter?
Yes.
Mrs. Frank?
Yes.
Motion carries. Also discussed at last week's committee meeting was the, to present the resolution for the tax collector, and the fees that the tax collector is paid.
We didn't discuss any particulars, we just said we were gonna discuss it and you get it handed all nice and clean. And Joe, I have a question. A percentage of the sewer fees and the trash fees is how much? Based on your estimates of income? Another, how much besides the 4,000?
What are you talking about, what's the percentage?
1.25.
Well, you're collecting, well, figure around $200,000 for each ballpark, so what's that, $2,000, another $4,000 bucks. 1.25 of 200 grand is what, 2,000 bucks, so about another $4,000 ballpark.
Do you know of any borough township that's got percentages, or are they all flat fees?
I don't know any of that, I know that it used to be done that way. I know the tax collector used to be a pretty dumb job back, a few years back, it was, everybody wanted to be a tax collector, now it doesn't pay as well
Right.
as it did. And this isn't, nothing's budgeted for this because this wouldn't be enacted until 2014.
Right. I just think we should call around to a few of the towns to see what they pay. I think most are flat fees. And I think Joe said most of them got rid of the percentages.
I think it's based on population and stuff, I believe.
I'm sorry, Jeff?
I think it's based on population, and I know a lot of the school districts pay just a,
They're flat
they just
fee.
pay, percentage on each bill, even though they don't, the tax collector doesn't collect it. They have their own lockbox, once the school districts, the tax collector gets paid on each bill that's collected.
I guess it's going back to the old
But it
ways
varies, I
of
know
a
some
sweet deal.
towns, I mean, this used to be a $30,000 a year job
Mhm.
back in the 70s, I know that. Full government job back then. I think you're having difficulty finding good people because it doesn't pay that much and it's a lot of work.
I just think we should call more towns
I think we got a
and
decent
get
one
more
right
in
now.
line.
The
Kathleen
only
does a
problem
great
is,
job.
Mary Ann, we have to do this before February 15th.
We don't
If we
have
don't
county
do it-
council till February 19th.
If we don't do it now, then the 2014 tax collector,
I thought this has to be passed before next year.
no, has to be passed before February 15th.
This isn't right by right.
But is this on the books already, like
Not
this in the
comparable
ordinance
percentage.
code as it is? Or
I
is this a
think
new?
that's,
I'm sorry, Jason?
Is this on the books right now as, to do it as of February 15th? Is that the law right now? Or is that what we're voting to change it to?
No, it's the law that you have to have it done before the primary election.
So that the person who's running,
So there's no change to that part?
so the
That-
person who's running knows.
so if you're gonna change it, you're gonna change it tonight and vote on it. So if you're comfortable with percentages, I'm not.
I mean, 1.25% isn't a lot of money.
No, it's not,
It's
but each year it's.
$2,000.
So why not make it a flat fee? I mean, what's,
Joe, would you have a problem with that if we made it a flat fee?
No, it's the tax collector, I mean, I'll budget whatever you guys decide on, that's not an issue. sometimes if you do a percentage, there might be more incentive for the tax collector to draft to the delinquent.
Okay. I don't have a problem with the percentage.
What is the current rate right now? Is it 5,600?
4,000.
So it's 4,000, so this is about, you said on 200,000, 1.5%,
Double, yeah.
you're looking at about a $6,000 bond.
Well, this would be sewer and trash, so it'd probably be closer to $8,000. You'd be double her wage depending on what she collects. She does a pretty good job, very good job actually. So I think her number will be up there.
So why not set it at 8?
I think it's more of an incentive factor.
Because if she doesn't collect it, then
Right.
she doesn't get paid.
Yeah.
She's only getting paid on the percentage that's collected. If you set her at 8 and she doesn't collect it all, then you're losing money in the long run.
So we can keep a neutral budget.
That's the delinquency. You have a company collecting back years.
Do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Drowsky?
Yes.
Ms. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Benny?
Yes.
Ms. Foley?
Yes.
Mr. McGuigan?
No.
Ms. Rafter?
No.
Mrs. French?
No.
Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the representation of the Muckaty-Pades and Darby Creek Sewer Authorities.
I'd like to make a motion to re-nominate Kenny White as the representative for the Muckaty and Darby Creek Sewer Authority. He's been doing it for the past 5-6 years.
Second.
Any other people that we have?
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Art Manos to the Muckapedes Authority for a 5-year term.
Excuse me, isn't he a felon? He has a criminal record?
Between the two, that makes a motion. I would
Cliff, he does.
I would
Excuse
recommend,
me.
I
Okay.
recommend that the motion be done on the Muckaty-Pades Authority.
I sure will, dear.
Okay.
With each person saying
Here,
the
have a copy of
person
that,
who
okay?
they want to.
Because you're running the show, Cliff. You are.
Who they want to name. Whoever gets the more votes, be the person, okay?
So
So,
we're doing Muckaty-Pades
doing the Muckaty-Pades Authority
and
first.
White.
Okay.
It's, and as you can call roll, each person.
Before I vote, if you don't mind, I just have a question for Christina. We just reappointed people who were in their positions. I'm just curious if you're looking to go in a different direction as to what the reasons are.
Just trying to shake it up.
That's it?
It's not- I mean,
Just shake it
it's-
up, that's,
Honestly, Jason, it's nothing personal. I mean, let's all move.
this isn't personal, that's why we're discussing. I mean, it's never personal when you vote to reappoint people to these boards. I'm not familiar with half the names, but I take it that whoever nominates them are familiar with them, and I'm just curious. You know what I'm saying, Christine, if I said to you, well, I don't like this person for the library board, and this is the reason why. I'm just asking if there's a reason why, and I guess got my answer, you just wanna shake it up. Fair enough.
So as you call roll, each person whose name's called, they should identify the person who they want to select out of those two. So you're either going to say White or you're going to say Manos. Okay?
So we're not doing yes or no, we're doing last name.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so on the Muckaty-Pades, it's Mr. White and Mr. Manos.
Okay. Mrs. Drowsky?
Mr. Manos, on the basis that Mr. White's been on for 5 years, he did not once come to a meeting and give a report, and then we got hit with a 6.5% increase. To me, he's
And
not
he
doing
did that all by
this.
himself?
Defend yourself.
But
They have a whole board, so.
I understand that, Mary Ann, but he didn't come here to let us know.
Oh, so we're gonna take Art there? Who's got a record?
That's my opinion.
Good.
Mr. President,
Wow, great.
Mrs. President,
Stand right there.
Mr. President, I just would like to state that I did send you a formal letter.
But at the end of the year, after the vote was already taken, you not once came to a council meeting and gave us a report on this sewer, on either authority.
But I did inform you in the fall that there was gonna be a roughly 6.25%
And that's
across
all we heard from you.
across the board.
That's all we heard from you.
And then I also did send reports stating, a letter to you stating that in my 6 years of doing it, that there's never been a quarter that has been missed, a payment. And every month I have to go to those meetings and try to determine why it is that we're 2 quarters behind. Right now, I believe it's $200,000.
And I asked about that.
Joe, where are we on the authorities?
We're a quarter behind. The
We're a
fourth
quarter
quarter, we were
behind.
Darby Creek, which I want to
When
try
we
to pay.
took, when we took office
Mucking
in
and Page is
January,
100, as of
we were
November
2
30th, it
quarters.
was 130,000.
And in the budget was to transfer 138,000 and you didn't do that, so.
Fourth quarter is due November 1st. I
Close to
believe.
120,000. I did, I paid, we got here, the fourth quarter wasn't paid for either authority, and as of the end of this year, the fourth quarter wasn't paid for either authority. Buckababies was paid in December. I talked to Jim Merkins, the solicitor for Darby Creek today. I'm gonna try to get him the fourth quarter sometime this week into next week. And I haven't heard from Buckababies on the fourth quarter. And we're not the only town that's a quarter behind.
Oh, I know, because I received Darby Creek's statement yesterday in the mail.
But we're on top of it, we upped the sewer fee, so hopefully we don't have to take any money out of the general fund next year to fund our sewer processing.
But I would like for the record to state that that council was informed of an increase. And that I'd also like to know if there's nothing personal that's going on between people that are being nominated or not re-nominated. There were an awful lot of ramblings come Thanksgiving week that there was a lot of chatter going around that I know Christine, I had helped out with the rec board, which I've been doing for the past 7 years, 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, she changed her mind.
Yeah, I'm just curious. It was what happened between then. I remember. Oh yeah, Kenny. Yeah, he's been on there. We'll keep you going the way it's been. Why change it? Literally, they were the words I heard. Why change it?
Can we finish roll, please?
Now we're shaking it up. So it's not personal. Are there any qualifications that council would like to know of? Education experience, work experience, life. I'm just curious.
Mr. McWigan,
Mr. White?
Ms. Rafter,
Mr. White.
Mrs. French,
Mr. White,
Mr. Meadows has been appointed to the Muckaty-Paties. Darby Creek Sewer. Do we have anyone for Darby Creek?
I make a motion to appoint George Casey.
George Casey, President of the Committee.
Whose friend is
Do I
he?
have a motion for Mr. Casey?
On motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Anyone else?
Mr. White, I would like to nominate.
Second.
The same procedure, you would vote for either Mr. Casey or Mr. White. Okay.
Mr. Casey?
Ms. Peterson,
Mr. Casey.
Mr. Henny,
Mr. Casey.
Ms. Foley,
Yes.
Mr. McWigan,
Mr. White?
Ms. Rafter,
Mr. White.
Mrs. French.
Mr. White,
Mr. Casey's been appointed to the Darby Creek Sewer Authority.
Well, if nothing else, Kenny, thanks for your service over the
Yes,
last.
thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken.
Thanks, Ken.
I'd also like to state, if it's okay for the record, if I can comment for a minute, that in Darby Creek Joint Authorities, in the Chairman Cassidy's 25 or 30-year tenure, there was never once a special meeting held, except for the meeting that I called. I held up a budget about 3 years ago where Delcor wanted to up our budgeted flow, which would have crushed the borough. And I got 3 or 4 of the other members to stay that vote. And that was the first budget that's ever been held up. We had to have 2 emergency meetings. One was a conference call, one was an actual meeting a week later. Never been done in 30 years because I refused to vote for any budget that was going to raise the taxes on the people.
Thank you.
Artie's gonna do a better job, Ken.
I hope so. I'm a taxpayer too.
Moving on to staff reports.
Does that matter?
Santi, do you have anything?
Maybe you should get a record, then they'll like you. What's that? Maybe you should get a record, then they'll like you.
we have a check register.
Carmen, are you-
the last 2 months.
The budget versus actual. Yeah, I'm the year-end stuff, and I'll give it to you.
So we'll get a year-end one and then
Yeah.
start getting one.
And then you get the January one in February, but I wanna do, there's some adjustments I gotta make, transferring some money back and forth between the funds. And I'll give you, actually ended up in the black, so it's gonna be a good picture, I just wanna make sure everything's right.
All right, Joe. Thank you.
Freeman?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I did have two things I wanted to say. We did receive two tax assessment appeals, that we will, we have entered our appearance on one, and we will enter our appearance on the other one. The school district usually, takes the lead on those, but they are 1071 Taylor Drive and 854 Taylor Drive. If any members of the council want copies of the paper, I can email them to you. So you have, the particulars of each one. One thing to note is that one of the appeals is 854 Taylor Drive, I believe, was filed very recently, which was concerning to me because the statutory deadline says that the boards of assessment appeals have to issue their decisions by the 15th of November, and then the taxpayer is provided 30 days to appeal. At some point after the 15th of November, and we don't know why yet, the Board of Assessment of Appeals went back and re-looked at some of these, some of the assessments. And I guess this taxpayer is taking that re-look date as his appeal date. But I will check into it to make sure. I didn't get anything from Fallbrook. I know in another town that I'm in, I did receive a list of properties where this process, which I can't find in the statute, to be honest with you, that allows them to reconsider tax assessments after they've already issued their final decision. But I received nothing regarding Fallbrook, and I will have to check with the folks in the office here, see if they received a revised assessment list from the county. But in any event, those are two appeals, and we will follow the appropriate papers and work cooperatively with the school district to further all that. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson?
Not within anything,
Have anything to report? Mr. Wilks?
Nothing to report unless there's questions.
Chief?
Everybody knows, we had a little fire the other evening. It's not related to the fire that we had some time ago, even though they were lit the same way, they're not related. That person's still in jail, confessed to those. We have a good idea who did this, who's involved with it. It's just a matter of if we can get enough to get into court. So it's not something that we just have to worry about as far as, like I said, the last fires. More of a domestic type situation. But we had a lead right away. Matter of fact, we're working on all day today. The county wants to help us, and they're here helping us. The state wants to help us, but I can turn this whether they do or don't, because they helped us last time. And the last second, they wanted to get some glorification out of it, and a little too late. So there's nothing they can give us anyway that would help, in any way, shape, or form. So the county's doing good, our guys are doing good. We have a good idea. It's just a matter of, being able to prove in court. Knowing it, proving in court, unfortunately, is two different things. So that's where we're at.
Chief, what was the total damage on that? Is that complete?
No, the house isn't as bad as it looks. The car was totaled, and it was under a deck. The deck, was just a cinder, burned right up, and it went off the back of the house. So to see it the following morning, you'd see all the windows all boarded up and whatnot because they were blown out. But the house isn't as bad as it looks from the outside. A little bit of smoke damage on the inside. And
It
again,
certainly seems like it could be a copycat situation.
well, it's, you get mad at somebody, and you want to get back at them, whether it was a copycat type thing or not, whether they got the idea from what they had read in the past, it could very well be that. But I guess instead of vandalizing the vehicle, that's what they took. But what they used to light it went too fast, and so the wooden deck decided to go pretty quickly. there was a 7-month-old baby in the house with the mother, and we woke them up along with the neighbors, so everybody was okay. We had to evacuate the houses on either side, and I just found out today through Corporal Lero that one of our guys, our newly hired guy, Kessler, Tommy Kessler, and his Sharon Hill officer had to carry a guy out in a wheelchair a couple doors up. And he needed to be carried out, physically in a chair, so I'll be giving him a letter, I'll be notifying the Sharon Hill